Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. I'm on location at the Department of Ag Trade Consumer Protection. I'm here with Lara. We're talking about the Equifax settlement that just came out, well, not too long ago. I guess we heard about this a little while back, but we wanted to touch base with you on this. If you could kind of walk us through the process of what happened first and how we got to the settlement today is where we'll lead things off. So welcome back to the show. Thank you for being part of this, as we love having you guys on.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. Equifax was a big settlement. As you know, in September of 2017, there was a data breach with Equifax. 147 million consumers' data was breached. That's 56% of the adult population of America, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, data breach in American history. They recently reached a settlement with Equifax, and they was the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, the CFPB, and 50 states' attorneys general, including the state of Wisconsin. What DATCP would like people to know is that there is a $425 million component of that settlement that's for restitution for consumers. And the way in which you can avail yourself to that is by filing a claim with Equifax. It is a somewhat complicated settlement agreement, so we encourage folks to first go to the FTC's website and read about the settlement. And from there, you can file a claim. But in brief, there are two ways in which you can get money back from this settlement. One is you can get a $125 payout for being affected by the breach. There's a $30 million cap on that payout, and it's going fast. A lot of people have opted for that $125. So if folks want to do that, we encourage them to do that as soon as possible. Alternatively, you can get credit monitoring that is offered through the settlement. So that's an either or. In addition, you can get money back for that you spent as a result of your data being breached. So in other words, if you expended time putting a credit freeze, getting credit monitoring, talking to an attorney, talking to your banker, any of that can be compensated through the settlement. And you would document it. Up to 10 hours, I think you can get, you don't have to show fraud, but if you're getting compensated for more than 10 hours, you need to show that you may have been exposed to some fraudulent activity. Again, this is a lot of information. You can get it on FTC's website, which is ftc.gov/Equifax. And you can learn all about this. But we encourage folks to do it as soon as they can, because the settlement deadline for filing a complaint is January 2020. And there's also, as I said, this $30 million cap on the $125 payout. So folks should avail themselves to that if that's what they want to do.
If folks don't know that they were affected by it yet, which I would think by now you would know one way or the other, how would somebody go about finding that out?
That's a great question. You can go to Equifax's website, and there's a toolkit you can type in your information to determine whether or not you were an affected consumer. As I say, 56% of the American adult public was affected, so chances are you were. Having said that, we really encourage folks to start with the FTC website and then go from there to the Equifax website. And the reason for that is we're already hearing from people that there are copycat scams about the settlement. Equifax and the FTC are not going to be reaching out to consumers. They're not going to send you an email. There won't be pop-ups in your social media. They're not going to call you. Anything like that is probably a scam, and you shouldn't respond to it. If you want to find information out about the settlement, or if you want to file a complaint, you should go through FTC's website, and then there's a link on FTC's website that will then take you to Equifax's website, and you know if you go through that route that you've chosen something that's not fraudulent. And that's where you can find the lookup, and that's where you can find information about the settlement.
I'm not surprised that people would take advantage of people again on something that they were already taking advantage of, which is just sad to say. Moving past this, what are some things that people will be able to do? I mean, are we looking at, they should always check their credit, but as far as credit freezes, security on your accounts, all of that, moving forward, what recommendations would you have on that front?
Yeah, again, it's always really important to determine whether or not you may have been affected by a breach or affected by fraud. And what I would say is call our hotline and talk to our professionals. We have a great identification theft team that can walk you through the processes if you think you've been exposed to ID fraud or ID theft. They can walk you through getting a credit freeze, options for credit monitoring, put a fraud alert on your account. So we encourage people to call 1-800-422-7128. Or visit our website at DATCP.gov and see if you can find and look for information about ID theft and data breaches and things of that nature.
Yeah, a lot of information on this. Zora mentioned on the website, I've been looking at the FTC website at the time we've been doing this interview, and it breaks it down pretty nicely. You guys have a good breakdown on your website as well, but a good place to start, as you said, is go to the FTC, start there, and then if you got any questions, certainly you guys are available and can answer. Thank you so much for explaining it. We appreciate the time as always.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Looking forward to having you back on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks
All right.
for having us.
We'll take a quick break. You are watching Talking Fitchburg.